earliest life on Earth consisted of various single-celled organisms, commonly called microbes. They were the dominant form of life on Earth for nearly 3 billion years until the first multicellular organisms evolved. The Ediacarans were an immobile form of marine life that were very successful during this time. 60 million years later, the metazoans, the first animals, appeared. Metazoans were able to do many things that the Ediacarans could not, such as moving spontaneously and eating other organisms. This is the period known as the Cambrian explosion, a period when most of the modern animal families appeared. Not much is known about the end Ediacaran mass extinction that occurred 542 million years ago, in which most Ediacaran organisms became extinct. A proposed biotic replacement model has been hypothesized, suggesting that the early Cambrian fauna displaced the Ediacaran fauna through competition and predation. The metazoans diversified and evolved very rapidly, starting to invade and share the niches the Ediacarans had previously solely occupied. These ecological overlaps caused competition between the Ediacarans and the metazoans, which the metazoans, with their ability to move, began to take over. Metazoans began to disrupt the ecosystem and even change the environment in ways that made it hard for the Ediacarans to survive. Some of the animal fossils found may have even preyed upon the Ediacarans, further driving them to extinction.
Simon Durack from the Department of Earth and Environmental Sciences at Vanderbilt University, along with other prestigious archaeologists, recently found evidence in the fossil record for the theory that mass extinction was driven by ecosystem engineers that drastically changed the environment, forcing other species to either adapt or go extinct. In a previous paper, they found fossil evidence of a stressed Ediacara community associated with a nearby suite of animal burrows. These pictures of fossil types exhibit various species of both early metazoan populations as well as various types of Ediacara that are close in proximity and most likely interacted 540 million years ago. In this schematic from Durack et al., there is evidence of proximity in sediment layers of organisms from both the metazoan and Ediacara communities. This graphic clearly illustrates how the layers of the fossil record form and the time frame at which the organisms survived can be compared. Evidence of interaction between the two groups of organisms is supported by their proximity on the figure.
So, what did these findings imply? The first major implication is that Ediacarans and metazoans actually coexisted within the same ecosystem. This means that they underwent ecosystem interactions. It has previously been supposed that metazoans could have been around earlier than they were placed in the geological timescale, but due to the soft-bodied nature of these early metazoans, no trace of them was preserved. This study validates the idea of metazoans and Ediacarans coexisting in the same geographical area and time period. The second big idea from this study is that metazoans may have actually driven the extinction of the Ediacarans. While before it has been speculated that the arrival of metazoans on the evolutionary scene may have caused the abrupt extinction of the Ediacarans, there was never any proof to definitively link the two groups. While it made logical sense to scientists that sheer evolutionary advantage may have caused the metazoans' rise and the Ediacarans' fall, little to no hard proof could be found until this study. The metazoans have been termed as ecological engineers based on the findings presented in this paper. These findings could be extrapolated to say that metazoans may have driven the extinction of the Ediacarans by fundamentally changing the environment in a way that made it unsuitable for the organism's survival, therefore pushing them out of the ecosystem and effectively eliminating an entire previous way of life.
Why is this study so important? For the scientific community, this research helps to form a hypothesis about the biotic replacement model that can be tested with future fossil discoveries. The study fulfills one fundamental prediction of the biotic replacement model with evidence of ecosystem engineering in the latest Ediacaran, but more studies need to be conducted because there is not yet enough evidence for predation on soft-bodied Ediacaran organisms. In the scope of our biology class, this study strengthens our knowledge of biodiversity and how organisms have interacted throughout history. We have studied niches, and the findings suggest a pattern of spatial and environmental niche partitioning between Ediacaran frondose organisms and metazoans trace makers in subtidal settings. Although these researchers are studying events from 540 million years ago, Durack believes that it provides a relevant message for today. He states that there is a powerful analogy between Earth's first mass extinction and what is happening today. The end Ediacaran extinction shows that the evolution of new behaviors can fundamentally change the entire planet. And today, we humans are the most powerful ecosystem engineers ever known.